We'll see full factorial DOE. In full factor DO, in full factor, all the combinations is tried and also the low and high end of the changeable parameter. That means each parameter has a limit that we can change. So what we will do is we'll change from lower as well as directly higher. Okay. Based on that, we are going to change the parameter. Now this is a normal parameter in a row. Now first they change one parameter at a time. Then if you come to the next experiment, they have changed two parameter at a time and keeping one constant. Then again keeping one constant, another two. And in last, they change all the parameters. So this is called full factorial. So what level we call it is nothing but changing. We are changing in two levels. Correct. So 8 experiment we have to run and see which gives the maximum or optimized output. Okay, what is a factor, what is the level? So there is some L3 3L4. So now we'll see in the black belt. Okay, we'll run in the Minitab only. We'll create a design of experiment, normal design of experiment, full factorial, and Taguchi method also will create in Minitab. So three parameters are available, plus three can be changed, plus two limits, lower and upward. Totally 8 line of trials are explained. Two limits. What is two limits? So if you say, if you take pressure 50 and 55, 50 will be the lower changeable limit and 55 higher changeable limit. Beyond that, if you go, there will be a problem. So we need to change only within the limit that is being specified. So we can use a cubic also here. Say pressure, we're going to test low high, speed low high, and we'll arrive at the optimum. This is symbolic for the full factorial DOE. So next, let us see random factorial DOE. So when we will use random factorial DOE, for example, you have three parameter A, B, C. Okay, and A parameter can be changed from 10 to 100. 10 to 100 there is a feasibility to change, and A is causing proportionate, there is a correlation or proportionality for the output. B parameter can be changed from 10 to 200. Then C can be changed from 1 to 20. Now assume how many combination of this we have to run. See, first you have to keep it 10, then run and keep all the constant, and keep it 20 and keep all the constant. Then it takes more experiment, more than 100 experiment. So is it possible that to run that many experiments? So in reality it is not possible. So therefore what we use is, in this case we use random factorial DOE. With just 15 experiment we can arrive at the optimum result, or we can arrive at the nearby optimum result. How we are going to arrive at the nearby optimum result, we will see. Now let us see example here. Pressure, temperature, gas percentage. Three parameter they have taken. Now the LSL of pressure can be changed from 5 to 100. 5 to 100 we can change. Okay. Then coming to temperature, this is a set value, and from 10 to 100 we can change. And gas percentage 1 to 10 we can change. And this is a present set value. Now what they have done here is, they have divided the range. So 100 minus 5, 95 is the overall jump that we can do for the pressure change. Then here again 90 is the overall jump that we can do for the temperature change. Then 9 gas percentage is the overall jumping change that we can do for the gas percentage change. Now what they have done is, jumping range they have calculated. That means 95 they have divided for 15, they divided with 15 equally, then you will get a ratio 6.3. 90 they are divided 15, 6, then again 0.6, they divided 9 by 15. So now you got a jumping range by dividing with the number 15, because 15 is the experiment that we are going to run, because there are so many combinations that we need to do, because the pressure can be changed from 5 to 95. So we can't run that many experiments. Therefore what they have done, they divided with 15, And the first one is they have taken 11.3. So what is 11.3? That means LSL is 5. 5 can be kept for doing experiment. They added the jumping range 6.3. The first value will be 11.3. Then again adding 6.3 to 11.3, 17.7. Adding 6.3 for 17.7 will result to 24.0. Like that, when you add the jumping range, finally you will end up with the number 15th experiment 100. This is nothing but your USL. You will end up with the USL. Like that, when you add this ratio from the LSL, you will end up with only 15 experiments. So now the beauty of random factorial is you have done all the combination of the entire range of each parameter. Now you know when you increase the pressure, there is a change in the output. When you increase the temperature, there is a change in the output. Gas percentage, when you increase, there is a change in the output. Now all those experiments you covered only with 15. Therefore, you will find an optimum result somewhere. Hint you will get it. Say seventh experiment, there is a hint. Then you can conduct another 3 experiments keeping one constant. Then you can arrive at the optimum. So random factorial is a wonderful experiment when there is a huge, huge specification where you can change the parameter. In that case, we can use random factorial. So that is about the design of experiment, and then we are going for the improvements. So design of experiment, all these will be useful in the analyze phase to find the optimum result, to change the input parameter. Example, these are tools that we can use in analyze phase. So next we are going to improve phase. So improve phase. In the improve phase, from the root cause summary table, we will generate solutions. So improve phase, what we'll do, we'll improve things, or we'll generate solutions to the problem. So what are the content we saw for the particular example in uh, this one is tool metal, there was change. Machine A carbide, machine B HSS. So what is the action that you are going to perform in improve phase? Trial in machine B with carbide. We're going to do trials with machine B with a carbide. If it comes okay, we'll fix carbide in the machine B also. Then coming to the second one, spindle RPM root cause. 2500 was there in machine A, 2000 was there in machine B. Then what is the action? Trials with machine B with 2500 RPM. So we are going to do trial with machine B by keeping 2500 RPM and check the dimension output. If having consistency or the result is matching with machine A, we are going to fix that and run in the production. So in improve phase, we'll generate solution and implement the solutions. So based on the type of root cause, we can change man, method, machine, special tool, special fixture, load criteria for load criteria inspection before starting of the process. So based on the root cause, we can change all these 6 points. We can add some more points if it is in a special case. Improvement summary sheet. In preparing improvement summary sheet, we shall take the table from the define phase, project summary sheet, and fill the same. So in define phase, we have kept some blank, right? After project, what will happen? So that we can take and just fill it out. There is a project that is a that we are done in the define phase. So these were filled in the define phase. This one filled after the improve phase. Now if you see, after fixing everything and achieving the required uh, required after fixing the required root causes and solving the problem in the improve phase, before the CPK was 0.9 and now the CPK is 1.5. Now it has improved because we have solved the problem. Before ppm was 50,000, now 8,000 is the ppm. Okay, before the yield is 95 percentage, now the yield is 99 percentage. Present man hour for 10k, for shipping 10k 20 hours was taking. Now with 15 hours they're able to ship the 10,000 parts. Present lead time for 10k is 5 days. So they were utilizing 5 days to ship 10k. Now they're able to ship within 4 days. Why? Because of rejection was there. They were reworking it. There was a scrap, so they're not able to meet the requirement. Then date of origin. This is it is same. Then customer feedback before the project we can take, and after project we can take and put it here. So next, what is the root cause? In machine B, spindle RPM was 2000. That is the root cause. Corrective action is fixing the parameter for 2500 in machine B. Preventive action is a separate program for the particular part and mistake proofing for the spindle RPM that cannot be edited. That means, say, even carbide, when they did analysis, carbide and HSS did not give a much correlation, but the RPM did a major change. So that's why they put the root cause as RPM. Therefore, we need to fix the RPM by fixing the program where no one can be edit the program. So this is the final project summary sheet that we can present to everyone. Then we can do graphical representation of the implement like this: CPCPK, PPM, man hour, time like this. So after improve phase implementing, what we'll do, we'll go to control phase. Control phase, we are going to control the actions that we are given. How we are going to implement as a system. So corrective action and preventive action. For spindle RPM, changing the program to 2500. Okay. Mistake proofing that the spindle RPM parameters shall not be editable or edited. Okay. So trial in machine B, or done it and fixed it. So we'll be fixing it. The program that no one can edit it. Okay. So, and we'll update the document saying that only this is what they have to use it in the production, in the control phase. After improvement presentation to the management with the below points. After improvement presentation to the management with the below points. So we're going to present, first introduce yourself, then define phase project summary sheet you're going to show, measure phase data collection summary you're going to show, analyze phase root cause summary sheet you're going to show with the images, improve phase you're going to show improvement summary sheet. Then in control phase, you're going to show corrective and preventive action, like what are the documents that you're going to update based on the solution that you provided. Then congratulate the team members for working and success in the project. So this is simple 7 times that you can follow. Now, if the project fails, what we need to do? Reperform the Gemba activity with the help of potential causes that got derived from the fishbone diagram. So we're going to reperform and go deeply and check the root cause. Then finding out the right root cause and switching the root cause on and off. After this, we will generate solution to fix the root cause. Okay. So next we'll see Z-score chart, that is out of the contents, just for understanding.